Grab your coffee, mama. It's time for coffee, clients, and nap time. I'm Sarah Marie, and this is your guide to building a business that works for you and your family. Here, we'll dive into creating a thriving business that lets you be the hands-on parent you want while designing the life you've always dreamed of. So if you're ready to balance business success with family life and make it all work in a way that feels right for you, then let's dive in. Hey mamas, and welcome back to Coffee, Clients, and Nap Time. I'm Sarah Marie, and today I'm going to be talking about boundaries, but not in the self-care, protect your peace, bubble bathy kind of way. Talking about boundaries as a business skill, because what I've learned is that boundaries aren't just about protecting your personal time or preventing burnout, although they really do that. Boundaries are a strategic business skill that directly impacts your revenue, your client experience, and your capacity to sustain your business long term. When you don't have boundaries, your business doesn't just feel chaotic, it actually operates less effectively. You make worse decisions, you attract the wrong clients, you undercharge, you overdeliver, and you resent the work that you're doing. And as a mum in business, those stakes are even higher. Because when you don't have boundaries, you're not just sacrificing your own well-being, you're sacrificing time with your kids, your own presence, and your energy for the people who actually matter most. So today we're reframing boundaries, not just as a nice to have, not as something you implement when you're already burnt out, but as a core business skill that you need to develop, practice, and protect if you want to build something sustainable. So today I'm going to start with why most of us get this wrong, and it's actually really simple. Boundaries usually get lumped in with self-care. They're often talked about in the same breath as meditation, journaling, and taking breaks. And yes, boundaries do protect your well-being. But when we only think of them in that context, we miss their strategic value. Boundaries aren't just about you feeling better. They're about your business actually functioning better. Think about it a bit like this. If you have no boundaries around your availability, clients contact you at all hours. You respond immediately because you're worried about seeming unprofessional, and then you're checking messages during dinner, on weekends, or while you're putting your kids to bed. So what does that teach your clients? Well, that you're always available, that they can expect instant responses from you, and that their urgency is your emergency. And then what happens is you become the bottleneck. Every decision, every question, every tiny issue requires you. Your clients can't move forward without you. They've learned to depend on your constant availability instead of developing any autonomy themselves. And that's not good service. That's codependency, and it's unsustainable. Or let's have a look at scope creep. You don't have clear boundaries around what's included in your offer. So a client asks for just one more thing, and then another, and then another. And you say yes because you don't want to seem difficult or unhelpful. What does that teach your clients? Well, it teaches them that your pricing is negotiable and that the scope is flexible. And really, that if they push, you'll give them more. And now you're doing twice the work for the same fee. So you're resentful. The client is getting subpar work because you're stretched far too thin, and nobody wins. That's not generosity though. That's poor boundary management, and it's costing you revenue. So when we treat boundaries like self-care, like something that's optional, or something that we implement when we're already overwhelmed, we miss the fact that boundaries are actually strategic infrastructure in our business. They're how your business operates efficiently, profitably, and sustainably. And here's something else that might surprise you. Boundaries don't make clients unhappy. It's usually the lack of boundaries that does. When you have clear boundaries, your clients know what to expect. They know when you're available, and they know what's included in their package. They also know how long turnaround times are, and they know what happens if they need something additional. That clarity creates confidence in your clients. They're not wondering if they're bothering you, they're not guessing whether something is included, and they're not anxious about when they'll hear back from you. Compare that to working with someone who has no boundaries. You're never sure when you'll get a response. You don't know if you're asking too much. You feel guilty for reaching out. The whole relationship feels uncertain. Simply put, boundaries create structure, and structure creates safety, and safety creates better client relationships. And then there's the other benefits, like boundaries can help you deliver better work. Because when you're constantly available, constantly saying yes, and constantly accommodating every request, you're depleted. And depleted people don't do their best work. But when you have boundaries that protect your capacity, you show up for your clients rested, focused, and energized. You bring your best thinking and you deliver work that you're proud of. And so the client gets a better result. And the thing about boundaries is that good clients appreciate them. Those clients who push back on your boundaries, who expect you to be available 24/7, who constantly try to get more than what they paid for, they really aren't your ideal clients anyway. The clients who respect your boundaries are the ones who value your expertise. They understand that quality work requires protected time, and they want a professional relationship, not just someone that they can exploit. So boundaries really don't damage client relationships. They filter them. They help you work with people who respect your capacity and value your work. And that's exactly who you want to be working with. Let's touch next on what poor boundaries are actually costing you, because I think a lot of the time we really can underestimate this. First, there's the revenue cost. When you don't have boundaries around scope, you are doing unpaid work. Every just one more thing, every just a quick question, every extra revision that wasn't in the contract, that's free labor. If you are spending 20% of your time on scope creep across your clients, that's 20% of your capacity that is not generating revenue. That is a significant amount. Second, there's the opportunity cost. When you're over-delivering for undercharging clients, you don't have the capacity for better fit clients who will pay you properly. You're filling your calendar with work that doesn't serve you instead of creating space for work that does. Third, there's the energy cost. Constantly being available, constantly accommodating people, and constantly giving more than you're paid for, it is so exhausting. And that exhaustion affects everything, not only your client work, but also your marketing, your strategic thinking, and your time and presence with your kids. Fourth, there's the quality cost. When you are depleted from poor boundaries, you don't do your best work. You will make mistakes. You will miss things. You will deliver work that's good enough instead of excellent. And that affects your reputation and your ability to charge premium prices. And finally, there's the sustainability cost. When you have no boundaries, you burn out. And burnout means that you either quit, scale back drastically, or limp along resenting your business. None of these outcomes serve you. So poor boundaries aren't just a personal problem, they're a business problem. They directly impact your profitability, your capacity, your quality of work, and your longevity, which is honestly why boundaries just are not optional. They are essential business infrastructure. Alrighty, let's get practical about boundaries. What boundaries do you actually need? I'm going to name a few here. So let's start with availability boundaries. When are you available for client communication? What are your response times? Are you available on weekends or in the evenings? These boundaries aren't about being rigid. It's about setting expectations. If you respond to emails within 24 business hours, say that. If you don't work Fridays, say that. If you are offline after 3 p.m. for school pickup and the evening routine, just say that. Your clients can work within any boundary as long as they know what it is. It's the uncertainty that creates problems. Then there's scope boundaries. What is included in your offer? What's not? What happens if a client wants something additional? Get this in writing and be specific. And when a client asks you for something outside of that scope, you can either say no, or you can say yes, and here's the additional investment for that. This is not you being difficult. This is you protecting the value of your work and your capacity to serve all your clients well. Next, there's communication boundaries. How do clients reach you? Is it email, Slack, phone calls? Choose the channels that work for your capacity and stick to them. If you don't want clients texting you, don't give out your mobile number. If you can't manage WhatsApp messages, don't offer it. You get to decide how people get access to you. That's not being precious or high maintenance. That's simply managing your business efficiently. Next is revision boundaries. How many rounds of revisions are included? What happens if a client needs more? Unlimited revisions may sound generous, but they're a trap. They attract indecisive clients who will revise endlessly because there is no consequence. Set a clear limit and charge for additional revisions. Next, there's timeline boundaries. What is your turnaround time? When do projects start? What happens if a client needs something rushed? Be clear about timelines and stick to them. If someone needs a rush job, charge a premium for it. Your capacity is limited, so urgency should cost more. And finally, there's payment boundaries. When do you get paid? Do you require deposits? What happens if a payment is late? Never start work without payment or a signed contract. Have clear terms for late payments. You are running a business here, not a charity. This list isn't the be-all, end-all of boundaries, but they are certainly the foundations for a solid business. And the key to it is that you get to decide what your boundaries are. Then you need to communicate them clearly and enforce them consistently. The thing that I've seen that most mums struggle with, though, is that they know that they need boundaries, but they feel guilty about setting them up. So they apologize. Sorry, but I don't work weekends. Or I'm afraid that I can't respond immediately. Or unfortunately, that's outside of the scope. I want to say this very clearly. You need to stop apologizing for your boundaries. Simply put, you don't need to apologize for running your business professionally. Instead, I want you to state your boundaries as facts, not rules, nor restrictions, just information about how you operate. I respond to emails within 24 business hours, Monday to Thursday. Or, this falls outside the scope of our agreement. I can add it on for an additional X amount. My turnaround time for this is 2 weeks. No apologies, no over-explaining, just clear, confident communication. And the more confident that you are in your boundaries, the less clients will push back. Because confidence signals competence. When you're apologetic about your boundaries, it signals that maybe they're negotiable. Also, stop over-explaining. You don't need to justify why you don't work weekends. You don't need to explain your childcare situation, and you don't need to defend your pricing. These are your boundaries. They exist because they allow you to do excellent work sustainably. That's all the justification that you need. And if a client pushes back, if they say your boundaries don't work for them, that's a sign that they're probably not the right fit. So best to let them go. Because protecting your boundaries means protecting your capacity. And your capacity is how you serve all your clients well, stay in business long term, and actually be present for your kids. And come on, that's definitely worth protecting. Now, before we wrap up, I really want to address something specific to mums in business. Your boundaries may be different to others, and that's okay. You might not be available 9 to 5 like others. You might not do calls after 3 p.m. because it's pickup time. You may not work Fridays because that's your day off. You might have a no weekend policy because that's family time. Or you may only work weekends. None of that makes you unprofessional. It makes you someone who's built a business around your actual life instead of pretending your kids don't exist. And what I've found is that the clients who respect those boundaries are the ones you want. They're often mums themselves, or people who value work-life integration, or people who respect that you have a life outside of your business. The clients who don't respect your boundaries as a mum, those who expect you to be available on weekends or evenings, those who think you should sacrifice family time for their project, simply, they are not your people. So Don't hide the fact that you're a mum. Don't pretend you're available 24/7. And don't feel guilty for building a business that fits around your life as a parent. Set boundaries that honour your capacity, your family, and your sustainability. Communicate them clearly to your clients and then enforce them consistently. Just trust that the right clients will not only respect them, but they'll appreciate them. Because boundaries aren't about being difficult or inflexible. They're about being sustainable. And sustainability is what allows you to build a business that lasts. So, if this episode has made you realise that you might need to strengthen your boundaries, I want you to send me a DM at balancedbizmama on Instagram and tell me, what's one boundary that you're committing to? And if you're looking for support building a business, perhaps with stronger boundaries to protect your capacity and family time, come join us in the Balanced Biz Mama Circle. We're a group of mums who are all learning how to do this together. And remember, Mama, boundaries are not just self-care. They're business strategy. They directly impact your revenue, your client experience, your quality of work, and your sustainability. When you have clear boundaries, your business operates more efficiently. Your clients know what to expect, and you protect your capacity, prevent burnout, and you deliver better work. So stop apologising for your boundaries. Simply state them as facts, communicate them clearly, and remember to enforce them consistently. And know that the clients who respect your boundaries are the ones that you want around you. Those ones who push back, they are not your people. So let them go. And until next time, protect your boundaries, honour your capacity, and remember, you've got this. Thanks for joining me on Coffee, Clients and Nap Time. If you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another mum who's ready to build their dream life. You can also join our Facebook page or Instagram to stay connected every day of the week. The link is in the show notes. Just remember, you've got this, and I'm here to help every step of the way.